Hi guys, and welcome to a new Dawn. I am Dawn, and if this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. So today's episode, guess what guys? I made it to 20. Today is my 20th episode, so I am going to talk about 2020 vision. What can I see clearly in hindsight? So, y'all use my platform for a lot of things, mostly to talk about my own personal experiences with domestic violence and abuse, with digital stalking, how I survived being in an abusive relationship, what I did to get out. I also talk about, my personal health a little bit, my experiences with surgeries, and the latest thing on my journey is fostering to adopt. So 20 episodes in, I cannot believe it. Thank y'all so much again for staying tuned. Thank you guys for all of your feedback. I have made some wonderful, beautiful connections with a lot of people across the country in my life. Some people I know from Michigan, shout out to y'all. Some people I know from all over Ohio. It's my home state. I know people in Texas, where I lived for quite some time, about 8 years or so. Made some amazing friends there. And I have friends and family all over the country, right? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Some of you guys I've reconnected with, and let me tell you, it's been such a blessing. It is so hard. It is so hard to get on this camera and just share some of my most private, intimate, insecure feelings and experiences with you guys. I know it's out there. Once it's on the internet, it's there, right? So it's no turning back. I had mentioned in the beginning that my sister and my nephew and my bestie have actually been some key players into encouraging me to take this journey and just to kind of vlog some of my experiences and share it with the world. And as difficult as it is, I'm glad that they push me, and I'm thankful that they continue to encourage me, and I'm thankful for you all's support, right? Because there are days where I feel like, should I keep going? There are days where I'm like, am I on repeat? Did I say this before? There are days where I'm like, nobody wants to hear this, right? And then I'll get a phone call from someone. They'll tell me, girl, you left me on a cliffhanger. No, you didn't, right? And they will tell me, like, it's not just what you're going through, but it's the storytelling, right? I'm engaged. I feel like I'm talking to you. I've had people share with me that they too have gone through a domestic situation in their past, and I had no idea, right? I've also had people just share with me some, health concerns that they've had and things that they are, kind of at a point in their life where they're having to decide, do I have major surgery to deal with this problem, or do I keep pressing through? So just these conversations and the feedback that you guys have given to me just really encourages me to keep going forward, right? Keep pressing through, because at the end of the day, you never really know who you're going to touch. You never really know who's going to be inspired by your testimony. You never really know who can use some information, right? To be honest, guys, it's a healing experience for me too. It is, it's nerve-wracking to have my business online. Sometimes I wonder if it's the right thing to do. Sometimes I worry about my ex coming across my video. He YouTubes a lot, or he did anyway. I have no idea what he's doing at this point in life, but When I knew him, he stayed on YouTube, so it wouldn't be unlikely that he come across my videos, or someone he knows comes across my videos and shares it with him. So I do worry about that from time to time. I do have an order of protection in place, but that has not stopped crazy. So, sometimes I worry about my safety. Sometimes I do worry, and I try to be very mindful about the information that I choose to share regarding my foster child, because he is a foster child. He's not adopted yet. And even once he is adopted, it's his story, right? It's not necessarily mine to tell. But I also am very conscious about his privacy and his well-being, right? He's little. So of course I want to protect him any way that I can. But I do realize that once it's on the internet, it's out there. So where I request to be anonymous from his family, anybody can find me. Anybody can look you up, right? So there's just different challenges. But again, through it all, it's difficult, but it's worth it, right? Because being able to reconnect with my friends, being able to connect with some of my family members on a different level, being able to just get some stuff off my chest, right? So that I can keep moving forward in my healing journey. It's been amazing. So thank you guys again, episode 20. With that being said, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to keep it kind of light-ish today. But I just want to talk about being able to see things clearly. So let's just get into it. Sometimes you don't know. You don't know when you're going through something, what it's for, what it's about, and where it's going to take you, right? You never know when you make a decision about something, is it truly the right thing? You can pray and pray and pray, and you can ask for advice from your friends and your family and people who love you and your coworkers, and you can make a decision and stand 10 toes down on that decision. And at the end, you just never know, was it the right thing or was it not, And sometimes you have to let a thing play out before you realize what was it for. I don't like to say that I have regrets with anything that I've done in my life. There are things that I wish I would have done differently, but I don't necessarily have regrets, because I've just always been of the mentality that everything does happen for a reason. And even if it wasn't necessarily a good thing, what can I learn from it, right? How can I grow from it? So I kind of feel like, what the heck was all this for, right? Like in my past relationship, I was in an abusive relationship for 5 years. To be honest with you, I was only in one other relationship before that. It wasn't abusive, but it just went on forever, like on and on and on and on for like so many years of my life. And I didn't get nothing out of it. It was like just a complete waste of time. It was like somebody strung me along just because they could. And I let them, right? Because I didn't know no better. And then all of this stuff that happened in between there was just stuff. Right? It was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. I have had a great life. But it was just stuff. It was just, occupying my time. But I can't help but to talk about the most difficult thing that I've gone through, which is being in an abusive relationship. I never thought that would be me. And I certainly never thought it would be me in my 30s and in my 40s, right? Because you think by that point in your life, you are educated, you have experience, you have likely, if you're a woman, you have been around somebody, somebody in your life who's been in an abusive situation, and you just vow to yourself that it's never going to be me. But you don't know what you're going to do when you're in a situation until you're in a situation. And that's where I found myself. And at the time, I had all this other stuff, right? Just brewing on the inside, where it was easy for me to be manipulated. It was, and I don't say that to say that was my fault. It just is what it is, right? I was a target to somebody who was praying. I mean, I was a target. I am sure that there is a certain type of individual that this particular person liked, because he knew he could easily control them, right? And I just happened to be that person at the time. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's the person that I am, right? Because I was just going through something at the time. He caught me in a bad spot. I say that now. He caught me in a bad spot. He caught me in a vulnerable spot, because when I think about it now, it's like, what in the whole was I thinking? Why didn't I bounce? Everything was mine. Everything was in my name. Financially, I was taking care of everything. So it wasn't like I was dependent on him financially. And I felt like I can't get out because he's taking care of everything, because that wasn't true. It wasn't, I felt like I can't leave the house because I don't have a roof over my head. It's my house. It wasn't like I didn't have friends. It wasn't like I didn't have a family. It wasn't like I didn't have a good support system where I could just open my mouth and told somebody, here's what's happened to me, and I don't know how to get out of it. I need help. And somebody would help me. There's so many people that would help me, but I didn't do it because my pride was in the way. I was already, like I told y'all in a previous episode, I feel like I invited this monster into my life. And once I did that, I just couldn't figure out how to get him out. What I have learned in hindsight is that you can't get the devil out of your house and out of your life by yourself. You need help. You need help. You need to ask for help. So I can see that now, right? But what did I learn from it? I learned that I actually had to go through that. I had to go through that. For me, once I moved down to Texas, I'll never forget, it was 75 degrees on my birthday in January, the first year I moved down there. And I remember telling my best friend, she came to see me that year. I had the best weekend ever, okay? And I remember telling her, there is no way I'm coming back. There's no way I'm going back to the Midwest. There's no way. It's 75 degrees in January. Like, I've been snowed in on my birthday, okay? I'm never going back. Something terrible would have to happen in order for me to go back home. And even then, I'm not saying it would be temporary, because I'm coming back down here. I'm gonna go somewhere else, but it's just this, where I was at, it just wasn't it. This is it, right? Me being in an abusive relationship was a terrible thing that had to happen. That terrible thing had to happen to me in order to get me back home. And I had to come home because there was a baby that needed a mom. And I needed a baby. And there was no way that he and I could have crossed each other's paths without the series of events happening to me that happened to get me back home, so that I could be in the right place at the right time to receive him. I just want to tell y'all like a really brief story. Something that happened. I don't think I've talked about this in my other videos, but when I finally left, and y'all can go back to The Great Escape in that series of when I got out of my relationship. When I left, I moved back home, and I was bouncing kind of back and forth between my mom's house and my sister's house for probably about 7 or 8 or 9 months or so, right? And when I finally moved out, and let me, by the way, say that when I left Houston, I brought some things back, right? So I had recently bought furniture for the living room and the bedroom. So I had a bedroom set and a living room set that were fairly new, not brand new, but fairly new, but still in good condition. I brought those things back home because, I mean, it was my stuff, right? So when I had made the decision to go back to Houston and close out my affairs, I went and got my stuff. So I brought the big items home. But when I came back, I put those things in storage because I didn't have a place to live. I was living with my mom, and I was at my sister's house, and I just had my things in storage. So when I finally moved into my apartment, the night I moved in, I actually moved into a townhouse. So I had an upstairs and a downstairs. This is prior to my knee replacement surgery. So I was like just tired. I mean, moving is exhausting anyway, but I was like crunked up. So I was exhausted, right? I didn't have a chance to put my bed together that night. So I ended up sleeping downstairs on the couch. Sidebar, before I left Houston, when I was gathering my things, actually when I went back to my apartment, because I was living in a hotel for a couple days, while he was getting out of my house, I went back to my apartment. It was complete chaos. One of the things that was damaged was my dresser. So when I came back to my house, I had noticed that on my dresser, it looked like he just scratched it up. Like there was like a bunch of lines like going across my dresser. And remember, I told you this was like almost brand new. And then the dresser has like a mirror, and at the top of the mirror, there's some scratch marks right there. And I don't know, what the fuck, man? Like, that's a nasty, evil person to do that to somebody, right? I started not to bring it back, but at the time I was like, you know, I don't really have it to replace it. So I'm gonna take it with me and I'll use it until I can find something else. So fast forward to when I moved into my townhouse. So the first night I didn't sleep in my bed. I still had where the movers just set the bed up against the wall or whatever, right? Well, the next day, and listen, I told y'all I'm in my 40s. I'm my spring chicken. Sleeping on the couch was a terrible idea. I was even more turned than I was the night before. So that second day, I was like, I just refuse. If I don't do anything else as far as unpacking, I'm putting my bed together tonight, right? Because I have to sleep in my bed. And I was excited about sleeping in my bed. Like I was really looking forward to it. I had been living with my mom and my sister for months. So I was like excited about, you know, just getting my independence back, right? And I was like so looking forward to sleeping in my bed. Well, that night when I went to put my bed together, or that day, I got everything together. I finally laid my mattress down. I get ready to go make my bed. And in my mattress, actually before I laid it down, I noticed the slit in the back of my mattress. Big slit on the bottom. When I flipped it over to the top because I thought maybe this happened while I was in storage. Like maybe the movers cut the little thing under the bottom. I don't know. When I laid the mattress down to make the bed, I had about 6 slash marks going down. 4 of them like short and like one like real long one like this. 4 or 5 or 6 of them, something like that. Just right in the middle of my mattress. There is nobody on the planet Earth who did that except for my ex. And because I know him, I know that he felt like when he did that, I wouldn't notice it right away, right? Because I had left the house. I had been gone, disappeared for a month or so before I went back to Houston to get my stuff. And when I walked out on him that day, I never saw him again until we was in court. So I know his thinking. I know that he was thinking, she gonna forget about me until she see this mattress, right? And it's just gonna F her up. It's gonna devastate her. And it did. It messed me up. I was so pissed. I was on this extreme high because I had finally moved into my own house and I felt like I'm starting to get my independence back, right? I started feeling like myself again. And then my mattress just tore up because someone intentionally did that to me. Intentionally did that to my stuff to destroy my things. And as I lay down that night, y'all know on the ceiling, y'all have these white ceilings got like this, whatever that material is up there. I lay down that night and I look up and I swear in my ceiling, there's a letter J, like in that, embedded in the ceiling. So I'll show y'all a picture right here. So this is kind of what the ceiling looks like. And that's just a regular ceiling. It's not where the mark was, but in there was like a print and it looked like the letter J. Now, I showed it to my sister after many months because I wasn't even going to tell nobody. But I showed it to her and she thought I was crazy. She was like, I don't see that there. But I saw it. I saw it loud and clear. And the significance of that J is my ex first name start with a J. So on the second night I moved into my apartment, I felt like he got me. He got me good. And I felt like he destroyed my furniture. My bed is ripped to shreds. And now I got this J right on top of my head where I sleep. It's just haunting me, right? It's going to haunt me forever while I'm in here. And I may have told y'all that, like, when I first left the situation, I had a hard time sleeping because I had a lot of anxiety, right? I felt like he was going to hunt me down and unalive me because he would threaten me with that all the time. So I wasn't sleeping well, and I felt like he's got this, literally, he still got a chokehold over me because that's what he used to do. And I felt like he still got me in this chokehold. And I just couldn't escape it, no matter how hard I tried. That was in 2022 when I moved. In 2023, I got my foster son. And I got my foster son, and his first name started with a J. And that letter that sat above my bed seemed to slowly fade away after I got my foster son. And I began to feel like that's what that was for. It really didn't have anything to do with my past. I had to figure out how to let that go so I could step into my new blessing. In hindsight, I feel like that all of these things that I went through in my past had to happen in order to get me right here, like right here where I'm at right now. And it just could not have happened any other way. So that's all I got, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, episode 20. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all's support. Let me know y'all thoughts. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything that has happened to you in your past that may have had a chokehold over you. And then one day it clicked. You realize this is the reason why I went through that. This is what all of that was for. This is what it was about. Because I like to hear it. Let me know if I'm crazy, right? Let me know y'all thoughts on everything. And let me know what y'all want to hear next. So as always, it's been a pleasure. Again, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.